There's the cookies. Be right back.
I don't need it. I don't need it. I definitely don't need it. I 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 need it!
Oh,
Now, you probably wondering why I played this, right? I see this title. Shout out to Eric Rayweather. College basketball games might be returning. Listen, let me just tell you something about my childhood. Growing up, all I had was 2K, Madden, and NBA Live. I wasn't even old enough to understand college basketball, nonetheless the games. And by the time I actually started watching them, like seeing who came from where, what school did such and such go to, they stopped making them. That was back in 2K 2010. NBA, what was that? Not NBA. College basketball 10 or something like that, NCAA 10. That was the last time they even considered a college basketball game. And the fact that I'm seeing this title right now, I don't care if they thinking about it. Just the words college basketball games coming out of the developer's mouth, we need it. I'm tired of 2K. I'm tired of 2K being lazy. We need some competition within the community. EA made a lot of money off NCAA football. Imagine the amount of money they're going to make off college basketball. But my only question is, how would rosters go? So are they going to drop a yearly edition? Let's say if they were to make a college basketball game. Would they make a yearly addition to the game like how they do like NBA, like 10, 11, 12, 13, something like that? Or would they just have one specific game and they just update the rosters every year? I don't care if it's creator player rosters. We need it. We need something else other than 2K. We need something else other than 2K. We sick of 2K every year. We need something different. I'm gonna drop my wish list on 2K26 eventually, but and the reason why I say that is because 2K's already started making 2K26 brainstorming, so it's best to get your wish list out now instead of waiting a month and a half after they didn't already finish the product. Anyway, that's beyond the point.
So we just got a bit of very interesting news as it pertains to a possible college basketball game returning. Now, I know on this channel it's almost always football gaming content like Madden.
This is the last time they made a college basketball game, by the way. This is Mike Conley. He was in college.
Or other developments, but I thought that this video in particular was something I should do because I get a lot of comments on this channel about the possibility of a college basketball game coming back one day, especially with college football coming back this year. There's been a lot of comments and a lot of questions as to, whether or not this could be possible in the future. And before today, I would have said it was a very, very small possibility, but now it actually looks like it's a bigger possibility than we thought. So I'm going to talk about everything you need to know really quickly. But if you are new to the channel and you never want to miss out on any updates as it pertains to football.
This is that step in the right direction of the wish list of games I dropped when they dropped the trailer for NCAA. They bring back football, basketball. If they start bringing back the street games like NBA Street, NFL Street, oh yeah, we really back in business.
Ball game.
And then we go get GTA 6. I'm telling you, EA, this your opportunity while the gaming sports industry is. Go ahead and get this out. So I know y'all not dropping NBA Live no more. That's over with. Y'all taking way too long for NBA Live. Y'all could drop this. Y'all got football on lock right now. Y'all could get NFL Street, NBA Street. Y'all get them games back. Shoot, we can even get Tony Hawk back. We get them games back. It's really
or any future developments with a college basketball game, which I will cover on this channel because I do think it's a big deal. Make sure to subscribe and turn the bell icon on so you don't miss out on any important videos when they drop. Now, with the success of EA Sports college football, a lot of people started to assume that maybe we could see a company take a shot at a basketball game again. Now,
Ads are like the termites of the internet. Lucky for you, there's a free exterminator you can use. The internet is so overrun.
Now, back in the day, the basketball games did not sell nearly as well as the football games did, and that's why they went away. They actually went away before the college football games went away because they just weren't selling enough, but also there were multiple people making games, so, there wasn't a lot of profit to go around when you had multiple games out, so that kind of played a hand in it as well. But with College Football 25 coming back this year and absolutely shattering expectations, it makes sense that companies would think that, hey, there is some room to make some money in the college basketball market. After all, gaming is much bigger than it was 15 years ago. College basketball is bigger. College sports in general are bigger. There's more sports gamers out there than there were.
NIL money kicking in. Y'all heard, what's the name? The AJ DeBonster dude? He getting paid $7 million to go to BYU.
So it all kind of makes.
He actually want to go there, but he getting $7 million.
Sense. But what happened today that makes this a talking point is we got a little bit of a teaser from Mike Straw, a gaming journalist who I have talked about numerous times on this channel over the years as he's broken stories for various games. He's provided leaks for games like Madden and college football. He's provided insights on things before they happen, and he's pretty knowledgeable and usually right when he says something. Now, what he said a little bit ago is that multiple sources have told him that both EA and Take-Two, which is 2K, have had continued internal conversations about a college basketball game. Unknown how far along talks are, but there are groups within both companies pushing heavily for it.
See what I'm saying? Again, I don't care. It's just the fact that we even thinking about it. Because they be sitting in their office twirling their thumbs playing, what's them games called? Rainbow Crush. They could just be playing anything, solitaire with twirling their thumbs around. The fact that we thinking about a college basketball game is something to really.
Now I know that that's not
time to be alive, bro.
The craziest.
Candy Crush. That's what I meant. Not Rainbow Crush. Candy Crush.
Report in the world. It just said that they're, kind of considering it. They're talking about it. But just the fact that they are heavily pushing for it from within means that there's a decent chance this could be something we see down the line. Because up until recently, as far as I had heard from people I talked to, and even Mike Straw himself and other journalists had come out months ago and said, as far as everybody knows, this isn't really a talking point right now. It's not something that's being considered. The people I've talked to over the past year, from what I've gathered, it hasn't really been something that was a consideration. Now it's kind of being pushed for, and he said heavily being pushed for, and that is really
keyword heavily
coming off the backs of the success of the college football game. Now I'm going to break down exactly why I think this has a good chance to happen and kind of how the landscape of things have changed, especially recently, that makes me think that this is going to happen in just a moment. Now really quickly, I want to let you know about today's video sponsor, Underdog. Did you know that you can win up to 1,000 times your money by just simply pushing heavily for the return of college basketball? Is undoubtedly the success of college football. Now once again, let's be real here. A college basketball game is not going to do near as well as a college football game would. College football is
that's
much.
That's another question I have too. Let's say hypothetically they do make a college basketball game, right? How would that work as far as games go? Would they make men and women in the same game like 2K, or are they just gonna make it strictly men's? I don't know.
Much bigger than college basketball, and back in the day the college basketball games went away before the college football games went away because the sales just weren't really that good, whereas the college football games eventually had to go away because of the lawsuits and things like that. However, we have to now also keep in mind that the NFL is also way bigger than college football, but this year, at least so far, college football has surpassed Madden, and I think officially it's the best-selling sports game of all time. Now I'll be the first to say I didn't think that was going to happen. EA didn't think that was going to happen. Industry experts didn't think it was going to happen. I was talking about that, months before the game came out, that, there's really no way that this game is going to outsell Madden, and so far it has. Now, will that change with the months?
Had this in 10 years? You get Madden every year. This was stripped out of a lot of people's childhood for 10 plus years. Of course, they go by this. This is rejuvenation. The only thing that's wrong with this game is, you know what?
Wants to come? Probably not, because if college football is all
my Madden
already the best-selling sports game ever.
wish list.
Which surpassed 2K21 for NBA, which was the previous best-selling sports game, if you could believe that or not. The fact that it is the best of all time, I don't really think Madden's really going to play catch-up to that in the back half of the year. Even though they do get a lot of sales at Christmas, I think college football is kind of far enough in the lead, and I was definitely wrong about that. EA was wrong about that. They had, their expectations for what they thought the game could do based on the past and just based on knowing their audience and, who buys games and just the market out there. Because as a company that's investing all the money and time into making that game, you have to know realistically what your return on investment is. If it's not good enough, then you're not going to invest into making the product. And they had, I guess a pretty reasonable goal, and they just blew past it. I think they even blew past it on like opening night. It was just kind of unprecedented. So I was wrong. They were wrong. Industry experts were wrong. I think a lot of people just maybe underestimated, just how many people were going to return to gaming this year just for the college football game, right? A lot of nostalgia. I don't think the following games are going to sell as well as this one did because it's the first game back. But I think everybody just kind of underestimated just how many people would return to this game, and also maybe the amount of people that would take a break from Madden. Also, I believe the other thing that kind of throws this off a little bit is because they did have the MVP bundle, which I was assuming would count towards both games sales, but I think they count that as like its own separate game. So you have College Football 25, Madden 25, and then you've got the MVP is like edition is its own game. So I was thinking with that, especially that was going to really bolster up Madden sales, but if they're counting that as its own separate thing, that kind of throws things off a little bit as well. However, regardless, college football blew past expectations for EA and everybody that was involved. So seeing that makes them think, well, if this blew past expectations, then a college basketball game would probably do so as well. Even though the expectations would be even smaller for that game, even though they know it wouldn't sell as good as the college football game, it would probably surpass what they thought it was possible. And now that's why they're talking about it, especially when you factor in Ultimate
NCAA 2K8
Team and things like that, because even though a lot of
it's the best college basketball game of all time.
People said, well, Ultimate Team is more of a Madden thing. A lot of people do play Ultimate Team in college football. It's actually pretty active. So they have that avenue to make extra money that way. And the same thing would happen in a college basketball game as well. So the landscape has kind of changed with having microtransactions, but also there's more sports gamers. The sports themselves are getting bigger. And college basketball, honestly, is getting a lot bigger than I think people think. And the other side of this, why I think a game is possible, is because not only could you do men's college basketball, but you could add women to the game as well.
See, this is what I was saying, right? But didn't I just say that? This is what I'm asking. Like, okay, because y'all see how big women's college is right now, right? We know this every day. Now, not only you got men, you could add women in there. You could add Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese in the game if they want, the license or whatever to be in the game. But that would be pretty dope to have men and women in the college game. I think people, I'm definitely buying it. A lot of people would be interested and intrigued to see what's in it.
With NBA 2K, how they have the WNBA, you could have both men and women in a college basketball game. And honestly, women's basketball is getting more popular every year, both in the NCAA and the WNBA. Now, is it on par with the men's? No, but ironically enough, in the NBA, the ratings are the worst they've been in a long time. And people keep asking, what is going on with the NBA? Why are less people watching? Why are less people caring about it? Well, everybody plays kind of similar. It's very analytical. It's a lot of threes. You don't really have the new stars replacing kind of the hype of the old stars that are phasing out, like LeBron and Curry. You've got great young players like Anthony Edwards, Jason Tatum, Victor Wembanyama, but they're not quite replacing that same hype that the last.
There's no rivalry. That's the problem. I think the problem with the NBA is that there's not enough beefing with teams. Like, there's not enough rivalries. Like an Ant versus Ja rivalry or something, or like a Victor versus Ant, or Luka versus Ja, or something that's gonna bring the ratings back up. Because everybody being friends in the league, especially in between that rectangle on the court, it's like, yeah, they friends. They not finna take it seriously. Even the All-Star game, not taking that seriously.
Mega stars had, so that's part of it. But everybody plays the same. Whereas with the WNBA, while it's nowhere near as popular as the NBA, it's gaining popularity every year, and a lot of people are starting to like it because they feel like the basketball, it's a little bit more pure. Not everybody's playing the exact same, and now you're having the women's stars like Caitlin Clark and some of these others that are kind of really ascending and becoming people that even men are tuning in to see. So I think when you factor in the fact that NBA is kind of trending down, at least right now. College sports trending up, women's basketball trending up. Not only do you have a men's college basketball game, but you can do something that you couldn't do 15 years ago, which is include the women, which would probably equal more sales as well. And it's just kind of a different element to the game that we didn't have.
All you gotta do is
oh, you've never used samples like this before. This
capitalize on this opportunity while sports games is at a standstill.
Now, if you also factor in that NBA 2K is kind of in a current state where Madden has been for years. Now, I do think 2K does offer more to do in a game when you consider the city and the My Career and even their franchise.
Most definitely, because even Madden, you can't even really create a player like that. Like, you can, but there's no editing with the faces like that. Hey, you have full control of how you want players to look.
Mode. They obviously still have a lot of problems. There's problems within all their modes. There's a big microtransaction problem. A lot of people are growing tired of the city and things like that. However, the game still does offer more than Madden does as a whole, but they still get a lot of backlash and bad reviews, kind of like how Madden has recently. And a lot of people are kind of taking a step backwards, and they're saying, both when it comes to Madden and 2K, just make a good football game. Just make a good basketball game. We want to play basketball. We want to play football. We don't want all the extra stuff. We want it to be how it was back in the day. Yeah, there was a kind of an era where with the extra stuff like a city and some of the extra little things you put in the game people were enjoying, but it's kind of seemed like people want to take that step back and say, like, just make the best playing basketball or best playing football game possible. And when you look at the college football game, that's kind of what they did, right? Like, obviously it has its flaws, but it's a much better playing football game than Madden. It's more fun to play, and it just feels a little bit more pure. And then when you look at NBA 2K kind of being in that same vein, a college basketball game returning, and especially if it was made by EA versus 2K, would probably cause a lot of excitement, because a lot of people view 2K the way people view Madden, where it's like, we just want a new game or a new company to make a game. Now, both companies are trying to make a game here if this happens. I don't think we're going to get both companies making a game, because at that point, then you get to the point where there might not be a lot of profit to be made. Now, who's the better person?
If I was to say who should really capitalize, I would say EA, especially since there's no NBA Live. I feel like with them capitalizing actually off of NCAA 25, whatever it's called, they should really capitalize on a college basketball game other than 2K, because 2K, they got NBA on lockdown. Nobody's competing with them. So I feel like in the college category, however, this could be EA's chance.
To make the game, I mean, it depends on who you ask. If you ask NBA 2K fans, they're going to say they want EA to make it because they're tired of playing 2K basketball. They don't like where it's going, and they feel like a college basketball game would just be the same as NBA 2K. But then if you ask, people on the Madden side of things, they're going to say, well, I would rather 2K because, 2K was better than NBA Live.
I would say, I think more Madden people, they want 2K to make a football game than a basketball game. That's just me personally.
For most of its existence. And when people look back on the best college...
They say even in Madden, they want people on Madden to give up that license immediately. NFL give up that license immediately to 2K or somebody else.
Basketball game, most people say 2K8 college hoops versus March Madness 2010 or March Madness 2005, whichever one you prefer. So I think it would be more likely for 2K to make it because I think they're just better positioned to make it. They already have an active NBA game. They have more of a jumping off point. EA probably has somewhat of a jumping off point because the last NBA Live was about 5 years ago, so it's not too old and too outdated, so they probably can kind of pick up where that left off a little bit.
This could be a big chance for them, not only at college, but maybe getting a step in the right direction for an NBA game too.
2K is undoubtedly better positioned to make a game, but then you have to
I would say 2K has a better position because they're more fluid in making a game every year versus EA. But as far as financials, I think this is EA's opportunity.
And that EA is probably better positioned with the NCAA and with colleges because they are actively making a college sports game. So they have relationships with all of these schools and these conferences and things like that. So really, who would make the game? It's kind of a toss-up. They would both probably be very hungry to be the publisher to make it, but they both kind of have advantages and disadvantages in that area. But I just think when you see how great the college football game performed, how passionate the college fans are, and how many people have been actively asking for a return of college basketball the same way they asked for the return of college football, the same way they've been asking for a return of Fight Night. I think even though, yes, some of these games might not do as big of a numbers as other sports titles will, there's still enough money to be made there that now these companies are realizing maybe we should be doing.
This is the last time I paused, by the way, too. I just thought about something, right? You know how NCAA, you could export your player or import your into Madden? How would that work? I don't think they'll do that, though, but that would be crazy if you could have your player and then export them to the NBA, export them to the NBA draft or combine or whatever. That'd be pretty.
Now, it's obviously very early, and, you know, how much money would they invest in this? I don't know, because they would have to really be okay with the fact that it would not be nearly as well of a selling of a game as an NBA 2K or college football or Madden.
That's true.
But I think there's still room for them to make money and kind of, you know, please the fans out there by returning to this game. So I'll let you know if we get any updates on this, but the fact that there's already talks and people are heavily pushing for this to happen, I think that's a good sign that in a few years
I'm shoving.
We could see the return.
I'm shoving for this.
Of college basketball video games. Now, there's also been another very big development as it pertains to the college football and NFL.
Right, shout out to Eric Rayweather for this one. Again, bro. The fact that this is even a conversation, I'm here for it. I'm shoving for this. There's look, 2007. I was probably either 5 or 6 years old when this game came out. 2007. That's how you know we need a new game, bro. That's it. That's something in college basketball. 2K got to do what EA did to college football. Did college basketball badly. Been waiting to hear this since college football 25 was announced. Need college basketball back. I used to play March Madness college basketball. Fact. Yeah, man, I feel like this would be a good time. This would be a good time to have a college basketball game since the college scene has started to, you know, pick up a little more traction and female-wise, male and female-wise. Yeah, I think this would be a good idea, but again, it's a still thought process. You know, these companies, as a lot of people say, they're greedy. You know, they want to see how much money they can make if they even want to continue to even talk about this product, unless they just want to do it for the culture. But we'll see. Anyways, that is the end of this video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you do subscribe. It's good. Appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next video.